Hello, I'm a local guide in Okayama, Japan. Welcome to my channel, Fleeting Days. Days are passing very quickly. How are you doing? Okayama is a typical local city in Japan, not very big, not very small, with a mild climate. The rice-growing fields spread in the southern part of Okayama. Around 20,000 hectares of its farmland was formed by reclamation. This is the Kurashiki River, also created by reclamation. These places are not in a guidebook, but I've been attracted by the reclaimed land. First, let me introduce overall history of reclamation in Okayama, and then the first reclaimed land in Meiji era in the end of 19th century and some reminders. In ancient times, the area shown in green color in the center of this image used to be islands in the Seto Inland Sea. The sea surrounded by land and islands had been very shallow because of the sediment from the rivers. That has been the place of reclamation. In the feudal times, people had reclaimed this area little by little for several hundred years under the control of feudal lords. Then, as the samurai system was abolished in 1867, samurais lost their job. Former samurais group in the Okayama clan appealed to the government to reclaim the Kojima Bay for them to settle. The government asked the Dutch civil engineer Lowenholst Mulder to investigate whether the reclamation of Kojima Bay was possible. He carried out the field investigation and submitted the detailed basic plan of reclamation to the government. In his plan, he divided the Kojima Bay into 8 divisions to reclaim, and the total area of more than 5,000 hectares was supposed to be reclaimed. The government was surprised because the project was too big and too costly to implement. Neither the local nor the national government could afford it. Then, Denzaburo Fujita, a very rich merchant in Osaka, accepted this extensive project. After a long negotiation with fishermen there, Denzaburo's company, Fujitagumi, carried out the actual construction according to Mulder's basic plan. Now, let me tell you about the place first reclaimed in this project. The construction started in 1899. The first thing they had to do is to establish the dike in the sea in order to stop seawater and dry land. It's not so easy. Concrete and concrete blocks were not yet available those days. Of course, there was no heavy machinery. Only the materials available were stones, bamboos, and woods, which were collected from nearby mountains and islands. The construction was very tough. There was another disadvantage for them. The seabed in that area was so muddy. Even if they built the foundation and raised the dike on it, when it reached 60 or 70% of its height, it started to sink into mud. Then, 3 hours later, the dike disappeared under the water. But they didn't give up. Finally, they could stop seawater, and reclamation finished for the first division in 1905. This is Miyagawa, an irrigation channel today. This place had been the sea before reclamation. There had been no Miyagawa, no dike. Only the thing had been the shallow sea as far as people could see. The Miyagawa's bank, covered by trees today, reminds me of the dike those days. Look at next photo. This old photo was taken around the time when the dike of the first division was built. You can compare the place those days with the Miyagawa at present. There are reminders of reclamation around this area. You see stone walls that were built as a dike. This stone wall was the first one after the construction started. It is amazing to know people built it on the muddy seabed and it's still standing almost intact. This is also a part of the stone walls they built. The wall is still in use as boundaries of rice paddies, not to stop seawater anymore. Other than stone walls, you see more reminders. After the dike was finally built, then the water should be controlled for farming on the reclaimed land. To do so, some sluice gates, or himon in Japanese, were designed by Fujitagami's engineers and installed along the dike. This is one of them. Hokan Himon is its name and is still working. Other three left on the bank of Miyagawa are not in use anymore. Now that the land of the both sides of the dike was reclaimed completely long time ago, they finished their laws to control water. But somehow, whenever I see them, I think that they have been there as if they were the witness of the time. The time surrounding them must be passing slowly and steadily. Even now, they are quietly standing there without being noticed by busy young people